set that shit on and see how that is. Let me just double check that everything is good and cool and epic. Oh, it took that a little bit of a moment for it to recognize that I want existence to happen. You know what? I guess I'll just fucking take that, maybe. Or maybe animate something else.
God damn it.
What?
Ever since I was about to buy that one thing from Mono Price, now they're sending me fucking emails talking about, hey buddy, we saw you tried to buy something, but then you stopped. Maybe you should go buy something.
Damn fuck.
That's just creepy.
I wish you could just block website messages and not still get them.
Was it like a pop-up?
I don't know, just like, I'll block a website, but then I'll still get emails, but iPhone will just be like, oh yeah, you blocked this.
Hey, we are now live. Hello there, and welcome to the Non-Autisticast, the Good Movie Edition. But before we get into that, I want to introduce you to the motherfuckers on today. As per usual, I'm skeletonizationing the cat. Everyone else, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Alright. I am Cheeseburger Freedom Man. The only person who actually got a vote in this fucking election.
Epic.
Hi, I am Magix, and I don't know, Cheese, you got competition. Lisa Simpson, from what I've heard.
Lisa Simpson. Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm Fig. I'm just kind of resident guest at the moment. So,
That is correct. Today we have ourselves a guest from video game Tower Unite because Cheeseburger Freedom Man was like, oh hey, let's invite this guy onto our fucking podcast.
Yeah.
Anyways, today we've decided to not watch a shitty movie, or hell, we didn't even watch a mediocre movie. In my opinion, today we watched a pretty good movie, actually. Cheese, you're the one that suggested it originally or whatever, so I'll let you take the lead on this one.
Yeah. The movie is 1993's Falling Down, which is, for being a movie made in 1993, incredibly relevant. Almost scary how relevant it is, honestly. It's about a movie, it's about a movie. It's about a guy who gets fed up with everything and just fucking snaps, you know? He deals with so much shit in his life, he gets lied to, he eats shit, fucking snaps, decides to just go home.
He went home, and a lot of bullshit ensued. Now...
Yeah, he went home.
Yeah, he went home. Now, I'll say that I really enjoyed the movie. Usually, whenever I'm watching a movie, I'll fixate on something I really don't like about it, and it'll kind of stay in my head for the remainder of the movie. This movie managed to keep me from doing that, and I got to enjoy the whole fucking thing throughout it.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, good solid movie throughout. Characters are well done. The dialogue, good and solid. The music really helped with the suspense of it, all tense, full moments of retarded shit happening. For example, shout out to our Korean man, Mr. Lee, getting absolutely curb stomped by Mr. White Man in the movie. Ooh, couldn't fucking fight back. Well, I mean, he did try to fight back, but he lost.
Well, okay. We should signify to our one viewer that the LA riots happened, right? They fucking happened, and oddly enough, this movie actually talks about, a lot of things that affected a lot of the people that, fucking did what they did. Koreans were assholes, People were not seen as economically viable. Fucking the whole thing was a mess. Add in that, America being America, boom. And to add on to what Skelly said about, the whole fixation on bad things, I have the same thing. And I'll go a fucking step further with, one, I didn't notice a single bad thing with this movie. Some parts dragged on a little bit too far or too much, but I think it really added to the movie more than just was a negative. But this movie got me fucking emotional. And fucking nothing does that to me nowadays. Nothing. But this movie did. Because it strikes some fucking chords.
Fuck
Oh
yeah.
man. Yeah, I thought the movie was pretty good. I definitely, one thing I noticed right off the bat at the start of the movie was the very beginning, where it was just all these noises, all of these things going on, and the camera would whip back and forth between like the car, the bus, the sign, and everything, and a lot of things turned out to be kind of like, I don't know what they call it, Chekhov's gun or something like that, where one thing in the movie that seems pretty whatever ends up having effect later on in the movie,
Fuck
So
yeah.
I gotta applaud that.
They did that brilliantly.
Yeah.
Just,
I was waiting for when they were gonna use the switchblade from the random Mexican gangster dude. Apparently it was just waiting until it could stab the random faggot hater.
even beyond that, like, okay, right in the beginning, there is, he just leaves his car, and he goes from a highway underpass to the Korean shop. During that, he, one, interacts with a bunch of people, kind of shows how he interacts with the world around him. And then two, I guess you could call him maybe even the second main character, the police officer on his fucking last day, is right behind him.
Very,
And just-
very conveniently, I would say.
And
Yeah.
he even sees him leave to where, leave out of his car, and then climb some bushes and then leave. And every element of that scene, just in the first 5 minutes, is reincorporated brilliantly back in the third part of the movie.
Which, like, I actually found it really funny how after all this time they didn't move his car. Like, had they actually towed his car, that would have made things a fuckload harder for everyone else.
Oh,
Well,
my friend.
it's LA, so what do you
It's LA. I lived in LA for 10 fucking years, and let me just say, this movie captures it fucking brilliantly. It's like, I'd say it's even better than fucking NKFZ. It's just perfect. Everyone's an asshole, no one cares, and just...
Yeah, like
apathy.
even the characters we're supposed to be rooting for, like the police officers, and even they're a bunch of assholes. Like the one dude, he's being an absolute dick to the main protag cop, talking about, oh yeah, shut the fuck up, you're on your last day.
The chief of the police,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the chief of the police.
who were introduced by seeing him punch one out into the punching bag that all big macho men had in their office at that sort of time.
Yeah.
And I-
And then one other character I can think of was like the Mexican girl and the two investigators, like constantly just being like, oh no, she's just making crap up towards Bill, like when he was attacking.
yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, everybody's an ass in the movie.
Oh god, I'm gonna bring this up a little bit. Do you guys remember that fucking movie theater that the Mexicans tried to shoot him at, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to go there as a kid.
Really?
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I just fucking realized that, and that is weird as hell.
That is some weird shit. God damn.
Man, but that
Yeah, I
place has changed
recognized
a lot.
some stuff in the movie, just like, I don't know. I didn't live in LA, but I did recognize that one kid from Space Jam.
Yes, there was the kid from Space Jam.
Yeah, it was.
Shout out to the little guy for showing our protagonist how to operate a rocket launcher.
It was a little bit of a Deus Ex Machina, but you know,
Hey, he saw it in a movie.
I wouldn't
yeah,
I wouldn't fully call it a Deus Ex Machina. A random kid knowing how to operate a weapon, I would say, is pretty far-fetched, but not completely out of reality. On top of that, I was ready to say something. Like, I was thinking, okay, he's probably gonna fuck this up. He's probably gonna shoot at the ground and like angle it at the ground, but not shoot it close enough to kill himself. It did exactly that, but instead of that happening, it just goes into the pipe system and then blows up some shit. Like, that's one way to do it, let me say.
It was just that good punchline of, yo, I saw it on TV.
I
Hey,
saw it
pretty
on
much.
TV.
and even that has like a fucking meaning to it. It's like, you know, violence in TV. Fucking hell, like the whole theme of the movie is just, well, at least one of them, for the main protagonist. One of the main protagonists is just his rights. You know, your consumer rights, your rights to say what you want, you know, so on and so forth. Everything has a fucking meaning to it, which is whack.
Quite
And it
whack.
just literally goes scene for scene for scene for scene of, here's some shit. Here you go. Just soak that in.
Yeah, you got like people who legitimately go out of their way to be like, "Hey, dude, hey, Bill." They don't know he's Bill, but like, "Hey, man, can I something?" Or on the other end, it's Bill being like, "Yeah, let me talk to you about my family while I hold a gun to your."
Yeah, let me hold you at
Yeah.
point while I give you some dialogue about my life. Speaking of dialogue, how about we go from beginning to end of the movie, just to have that kind of thing. So,
Alright.
so from the beginning of the movie, as it was described earlier by Magix with the start of it, it was just basically starting with the point of the dude at his breaking point, ready to snap. And instead of violently losing it, it's a very, very gradual build up throughout the movie. And I found that really great. As Cheese described and Magix, just like, hey, here's the police officer that saw him personally as he walked off. Right there sets everything in motion. And then after that, we start getting some scenes that show all of our protagonists, the side characters, and doing a little bit of other stuff just to give this movie some charm and to let people know, hey, this works, that works, here's this shit. Now, I found it rather amusing that they went the way they did with Bill, having him be a mentally broken, deranged maniac that also knew his way around with doing certain stuff. And also giving him some sort of motivation as well. Because if it was some mentally broken dude that wanted to shoot shit up because he was upset at the system, I would have even been way less behind the dude. I would be like, oh fuck, I'm over here in the stratosphere.
Well, that's the line between this movie and like Hatred. Hatred is a fucking joke. I don't care what people think about it. I think it's a fucking parody, even if it's not trying to be. But I mean, yeah, he's not just a mentally deranged man. And furthermore, they established that just the scene in the car isn't it. That's just the last straw. They established that for years he's just been broken, and just that was just enough. But they also established that he's a very, very smart man, and he is very, very capable. And it explains why he's able to do things, why he's able to get himself out of these situations without being fucking retarded. Because just a normal man in this situation would be dead. But he's a very, very smart and a very, very capable man.
Yeah, also remind me, at the end, I want to talk about another movie that, like, a quick little thing, another movie that is pretty much what happens when you take this whole premise and just fuck it all up. Trust me.
Well,
Like,
write that down in Notepad, Magic, so that you can bring it up when we're nearing the end of our discussion, so that you don't forget.
yeah. Alright.
So yeah, once we're introduced all the shit is set up in the movie, we then get to know that the main protagonist had a wife, past tense had a wife. And goddamn, if there's one thing you don't want to do to a man, it's take away something that really meant something to him. Now in this instance, he's fucking insane, so that's not gonna go over too well. Especially,
He's not insane. He's just broken.
well, I'm saying after he broke, he started going insane.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Because he wasn't, it seemed that, like, he wasn't always broken. At some point in the movie, starting to get near the end, they started to show, hey, this used to be a legit functioning man of society. And
Well-
then,
Well,
I don't know. I wouldn't say functioning.
well,
I feel like there was always something under.
put
'Cause, like-
some asterisks, because, you know, it was his mother that explained something's wrong with Bill. He's basically a robot. He's not well in the head. I'm saying functioning. Put 7 asterisks next to the word functioning.
okay, fair enough. We'll talk about that when we get more towards the end.
Yeah.
So then, we now, after getting some knowledge, hey, this guy is his last day on the job. We then cut over to Bill, whom enters into a random Korean dude's market.
After he's trying to get on a payphone.
Well, there's that. That's right. He needed a change for the payphone, so he enters that Korean dude's market. After he got fed up with trying to understand the dude's fucking way of speaking, he just starts fucking shit up after stealing his baseball bat. And then he kind of enforced his American white man values all over him and walked on him like he was a carpet.
Okay. It's more like he got angry at him because he was. I know it's like 85 cents for a drink now seems like a pretty good fucking deal, but back then that was like twice as much. It's like $1.75,
Yeah.
and like Jesus Christ. I mean, okay, I need to say this because okay, so back in yonder days, right? There was a lot of nobody liked the Koreans in LA for a lot of reasons, but a big reason was because one day, I think it was a little girl went into a Korean shop, you know, much like the one in our whatchamacallit movie, and they thought that they were being robbed, the Koreans. They fucking shot her. Dead.
Damn.
And that fucking infuriated people. And when the Korean shop owner, you know, after he says that he's not going to leave, or at the very least, you know, immediately turns hostile when he talks shit about his prices, you know, he immediately tries to attack him, you know. And that's why, you know, our main protagonist, Bill, gets so angry at him. He's like, Jesus Christ, you try to hurt me already.
Yeah, and it's funny how this shit, like, they tried and fucking turned it around, I guess. I don't know. But, outside of the movie, I'm looking right now, apparently, because of that scene, like, Warner Brothers Korea banned the movie because of protests from Koreans talking about how they're harassing minorities. And I don't know. Make of that what you will.
Until that to the little girl they fucking shot in the chest.
Yeah, I guess people just don't remember that, huh?
God
Yeah.
damn. And then after that, I'm not too sure if it was like immediately after. The guy, Bill, then gets on the phone again. He tries to call up his ex-wife, Elizabeth. And originally, earlier, he was being pretty quiet about it. He wasn't saying anything. He was being pretty creepy. And I think it took 3 phone calls until he finally decided to say something. And that was after Elizabeth identified who he was, thanks to his creepy breathing.
Elizabeth is his ex-wife.
And then, after, like, it was probably the second or third, failed phone call attempt, Bill decides, hey, I'm just gonna fucking walk up this area, and a couple of gangsters saw him, is like, let's go fuck him up. They failed to fuck him up, because this guy, packing heat with his baseball bat, he didn't cap any fucking ass, but he certainly
He
did that.
nay-nayed though.
Yeah,
Well, he broke one of their arms, and then
They took his knife, or he took their knife, I guess.
Yeah, he took their knife, he broke one of their arms, and he freaked the fuck out of the other one.
yeah. And then this is when Mr. Lee, he goes over to the police station. He's like, yo, this white man fucking, he didn't rob me. He did break my merchandise, but he didn't, he was a legit customer except for the part of taking my baseball bat and breaking some of my shit.
Yeah, he paid 50 cents, which is the price that he said he would buy it for, and then, took 50 cents change and called his ex-wife.
Yeah, what he did was morally reprehensible and even fucking, bad. He fucking kinda did some robbery, but by technicality of shit, he got away with it, basically. But that was one of the first events that slowly got information built up to identify Bill as, the antagonist. After that, after a failed lead on Bill then calls Elizabeth. Some dialogue happens. Bill gets told to fuck off. Bill doesn't like that. And then these yahoos driving up the fucking lot, attempting to pop some fucking... They missed. They shot some innocents. And they
shot literally everybody but Bill. Like, they even got the 3-year-old.
Yeah, they shot the 3-year-old. And then they basically killed themselves.
Yeah, and then they somehow failed to fucking... who was driving and they somehow crashed? I don't get
I
that.
have no idea. The only one that survived from that group was the girl, and, she's running like, holy shit.
Well, that's because they let her out of the car before they did the drive-by.
Yeah, they yelled at her at the car, like, to get out of the car, and I'm sitting there watching the movie. I'm like, oh, well...
Yep, and
it's a good thing you got out of the car.
Yeah, and it's thanks to her that another lead was able to get in. Because if it wasn't for her, the case would have just most likely stopped there, and then any way to stop Bill would have been too late.
Because she reports the white devil to the police.
The white
and
man.
The police are like, yeah, she's lying. Like, no, it can't possibly be it. I can't wrap my head around a white guy pulling out a gun.
And
no, it's more like, why would a white man be in a Mexican community?
Not only that, she didn't provide really anything substantial about him, and that just helped muddy up everything.
Yeah, nobody ever really gives a good description of him, either until the end, or until, the blocks are already in place.
Yeah, it was more
and I
the
feel...
police...
Oh. You first.
Yeah, the police had to figure everything out from themselves because no one was really of any decent help whatsoever. It was more of, so let's see, I went here, this guy recently died because the murderer was apparently in the building, but the dude wanted, because he thought he was on his side when he fucking wasn't. And, oh man, that was... Dude, you would not be able to get away with today's culture and having a guy say fucking the N-word several times in a row in one movie, in one scene, in under 3 minutes.
Correction, a white guy.
Like this movie, it certainly does not hold back with displaying people as assholes. Everyone is an asshole in some way, shape, or form. The only one who wasn't really that much of an asshole was our protagonist cop, and well, I mean that's kinda it.
Which is
I
kind
don't
of
know, those two gay guys from down the street. Shit.
They don't. They
Don't really have a substantial part of the movie though. They just knocked over that dude's glasses.
yeah.
Okay, I would have said they're not gay if not for how they said fascist. If they said fascist in any other way, I would at least say, well, they might not be gay. You never know.
No,
They
look,
were-
this was made in the 90s. They were pretty gay, alright? Look,
It was 90s
from
Los
the
Angeles.
way
It was a
they
different
forced
time.
the actors to dress, and the fact that they had that homeless guy with the AIDS sign, yeah, a product of its time.
God, fuck yeah. I mean, hell, just the way they see the city fucking killing itself.
Yeah.
Alright, let's get back on track though. Where were we? Drive-by shooting.
Yeah.
Oh, dude takes their guns
Yeah.
and shoots one of the Mexicans in the.
In the leg,
Oh,
and then
We
he then
skipped
killed
the whole
everything.
part.
Oh, did we?
So, yeah, before we met Mr. Nazi guy in the movie, he went to a McDonald's place, right?
That's immediately after when he acquires the submachine gun.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Now,
Well, okay.
What do
Skelly. It's Korean shop, Hill, movie theater, Whammy Burger, then the surplus.
You're missing the park and construction
Oh yeah, and the
Well,
parking.
those-
before he gets to the burger shop.
Yeah.
Because
See,
he
this
tries to
movie
get on the
was
bus, but it's
packed.
too crowded.
I mean, some of those scenes are partially not too important to mention because, in terms of plot relevant information, those are the parts I'm more going on about. But
I don't know. I think that homeless guy who was being an asshole was very important.
Yeah,
I
I think
mean,
that shows.
I mean, I guess I wouldn't say
That
it's
is
not.
the-
I'm just saying the parts that I was bringing up I find the most important.
I guess.
Three
Let's just
asterisks on
say
one side.
those were like the park was where he lost his initial briefcase. I guess
Yeah.
this could be like a symbol for now he's putting, I don't know.
He's
worker
past
man
the point.
facade.
I think you're on the
behind
right track. I think you're on the right track there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
putting the past behind, and he's at the point of no return, basically. Like he basically
Not-
said it.
Not yet, because although
Starting to
he
get there.
did, he vandalized a place and he assaulted a Korean man, and he almost died. Only one of those things would get, except he did shoot the guy.
Yeah,
Only
he shot
two of
the guy
those
in the leg.
things. Only two of those things would land him in prison, and maybe he could weasel himself out. Now, I guess. Wait, where was I going? Oh yeah, I'd say the whole park thing, aside from the whole, obvious, giveaway suitcase, the homeless guy kind of just shows the sense of entitlement people have.
Most certainly.
It's just, give me your money, give me all you got. I mean, he's not even robbing him at like gunpoint. He's demanding that of him. That's what he deserves.
I live
Apparently.
here. This is my park.
Effectively,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's his park, it's his golf course, it's his whatever.
And then he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm starving," even though he's eating a damn hamburger
Right in front
as he's
of him.
talking to Bill.
Yeah,
I'm a non-vet.
yeah. I'm a non-vet.
mean,
Disregard
yeah,
the
no.
burger. Man.
God.
It's quite a
Just-
scene.
The part where he says he hasn't eaten in 2 days and he's holding a hamburger, a guy puts 2 and 2 together and just says, fuck you.
But it wasn't even that much of a hard part to notice. Just like, you're fucking eating right in front of me. Are you trying to fuck with me?
And then when he gets the food, he throws it he throws it away, throws it at him, and he says, fuck you. That's not what he fucking wants. He wants cash.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
wanted to, wanted to make some of that really good monies, but well,
He wanted a
he's-
beer with his sandwich, you know?
Yeah. Now, so yeah, the fucking the fucking burger part, that was quite something. Just
The fact the chick was fucking hitting on him though.
Yeah, props to her.
props to her for disregarding the potential death scenario for her and just wanting to hit on the dude. Like nice. Okay.
I like someone who's courageous.
I think courageous is not the best applicable word for that
Look,
scenario.
I don't know. I think she changed her mind when he pulled out the fucking gun.
Man,
I mean,
I think
like,
you mean meat sector.
oh my goodness. Now, after the burger part, that's when more and more of Bill starts to get identified. They're slowly whittling down where the fuck he is in the entirety of the country and all that, slowly down to where he just happens to be.
Well, I mean, by then they're just learning about the drive-by, and then they talk with them, and then they link the Korean shop, or at least one cop, they links the Korean shop with the drive-by.
Which, by the way, I find it rather interesting how this dude was the only one in the whole fucking department that was apparently researching and keeping on track about it. Everyone else was just completely on something else. I mean, yeah, honestly, you wouldn't really be focusing so much on random mundane details. White guy, white t-shirt, well, not t-shirt, white shirt, tie, glasses. It's some random bozo. But the guy, last day on the job, he was certainly paying attention. He's kept those details.
Although they, dismissed him as a desk jockey and fucking an old useless man,
Yeah.
he was still on the force for years and he knew what the fuck he was talking about. No
Not
one
only
just
that.
because they thought he was old.
Yeah, not only
I actually
that.
think they wanted him out of there. They just want to get him out as fast as they could.
Yeah, nobody liked him. The police chief said that he fucking hated him. His colleagues treated him like shit. Hell, they put sand in his drawer and filled. They filled a photo of his dead daughter with sand.
Yeah. That was like.
Really? Oh shit, that's
unnecessary.
what that was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
those people are a couple of
daughter.
assholes.
It was fucking quite something right there. Now,
Yeah.
let's see, fucking what else and why? Oh, come on, fucking.
Now we're at the part with the Nazi guy.
so I got one thing to say. It's super glanced over, but when he's walking into the burger shop, he takes a look at the sole of his shoe, and there's a fat hole in it. So that's why he goes and gets himself a pair of hiking boots.
Yeah, I
Well,
noticed
He
that.
does that at the park. Well, not the park, the hill.
Like,
They literally did it twice just so the audience know, hey, there's a plot point.
yeah. And like I said earlier, that was brazen as all hell with that guy. A
Incredible.
complete contrast to everyone else. Just, the one crazy guy in the movie who is misled by the antagonist and how he, was doing everything. I thought that was fucking great.
Ramp up the shock to 11.
I'd say. I mean, they kind of already spell it out for you, but he's the personification of the type of person that would take, a shell of a broken man, somebody just shambling his way to whatever remnants he has of a home, and spin it in such a way that, oh, he's killing the niggers and this and that and this, and basically just fucking shoot him in the back.
Yeah. Which, by the way, that is quite something. That guy listening in on the whole fucking whammy burger thing. That's luck right there. The random crazy dude and Bill just so happened to walk into his shop to buy shit. Wow. Good timing there, Bill.
I mean, I guess it makes sense for a surplus store to have, like, that type of person. I don't know. It just breeds eccentricity.
It certainly made things a little more, there.
Yeah.
Shit, like I said, if he wasn't a Nazi, he would have been a fucking regular ass redneck.
Yeah. Hell.
What the fuck? Why is it doing that?
I don't know. It's just a good scene of them basically saying he's not doing it for any other purpose than just this, him going home.
Yeah.
It was quite something. Now what the fuck? Why is this?
Let's see. The part after Nazi guy. I'm trying to think what it was. I can't remember it.
Fuck, I'm at a loss too.
I think it cuts back to police guy finally starting to piece together more clues. Like he's the one. He talks with the Mexican girl again, like from the initial. I want to say the gangster. Yeah, the gangster group, and she's like, he's just asking her more questions, trying to figure out who Bill is and, where he's going, and he manages to. Yeah, how many guns?
All the guns in the world.
All the guns in the world. Yeah. And then he calls his partner, his old partner, who's at the Whammy Burger. She's like, yeah, white guy, suit and tie. And he's like, all right, thank you, but be very careful, because he just learned that he's got all the guns in the world. And then the road scene, which is something that I can personally agree with.
Oh, yeah, the road scene. Like we said before, he stole Nazi man's bazooka and was like, oh, yeah, I'm angry, fucking tearing up the street. Which, yeah, cities, this isn't necessarily an LA thing, but just cities in general be like, oh yeah, we gotta suddenly tear up this street because of pipes. So, Bill gets mad, he takes out the bazooka, and, he's trying to figure out how to get it to work. In comes the kid, absolute Chad, goes, oh yeah, you just gotta pull it out. I learned it from a movie. Like, oh, good. I never thought I'd be the day where the kid from Space Jam teaches a white man how to use a bazooka. Good.
Oh man, that was fucking great.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, oh man, Bill's gonna fuck this up somehow. Instead of directly firing off and killing, like, probably a couple dozen people at most, he instead fires it off into the sewer, and it just shoots outwards, and then it just blows up some random construction equipment and shit.
Yeah, so,
And that kid just helped, basically a terrorist, perform his job.
Well,
because he thought it was a movie scene.
Yeah.
He wasn't aiming at the construction workers, he was aiming at, like, a bulldozer. So, in his defense, he wasn't trying to kill anybody. I was about to say I like the fact how they portrayed him as a protagonist that really didn't want to kill anyone. But the scene prior, he did just literally kill a Nazi, but I guess he's old enough to fucking have done that.
That could be classified as self-defense.
Yeah, he defended himself from being booty blasted by Adolf II Electric Boogaloo.
Fucking Adolf Hitler is my waifu looking ass.
Oh god, he's like those people who name their child Adolf Hitler. He's
Yeah, like those kids who think reading fucking Mein Kampf makes you, like, above the fucking system. Like, no, you're not. You're just stupid.
I read Nazi book.
You're stupid
Therefore,
and you have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Oh god. I find it funny that when, like, alright, you want to know where that money goes? It goes to fucking benefiting Jewish people.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm like, oh wow, you're really showing those Jewish people, huh? Fucking Skylar. Like, okay. Wow.
Spicy. Alright, my animation software is giving me bullshit, so I'm gonna stop that and I'm gonna do something else as B-roll footage.
Alright,
Nice.
what was after the
The road.
second road rage incident?
After that, it was probably a little bit more cop-related stuff, and then we start moving more so.
Ooh.
Oh wait, no. Hold on.
Um,
No, there.
I think this was the scene where cop guy figures out, oh hey, wait a minute, I know this guy. You know,
Yeah.
he and his partner are going around to the different places that Bill visited, and they're, you know, questioning the people. They go to Bill's mom's house first.
Wait,
Well,
actually,
that was after he figured out the license plate defense. And
yeah.
then
can I talk about that scene with that? Because I fucking love that scene.
sure, go ahead.
Because, okay, this goes back to what Magic said about Tekov's gun or whomever's. They show a billboard, you know, they show the cop looking at the billboard of a chick with, you know, Kilroy is here, acceptance, he's saying, help me, I'm drowning in tits! Because it's drew in tits. And he realizes that he can see that that sign at the Korean store. And then so he notices that the foliage by there has been rustled a little bit, and he puts two and two together. I saw a guy leave his car by this sign and go through some foliage. So he goes up, he goes down, or he goes to the top of it, I guess, underpass or whatever, over. And he sees his car is right there. He goes to the car, he gets the license plate, boom, they go to his mom's house. It's just, I fucking love how they set that up. It's like
Yeah, it's pretty
reincorporating
brilliant.
every single fucking part.
Yeah. And then once they get all that down, that's when name whom is kind of really long and I can't really remember properly. He and a partner woman,
I just say cop protagonist.
cop protagonist.
Pendergast.
Pendergast?
Pendergast.
Pendergast. Yeah, they grab Pendergast, like, alright fam, this is where you go. And yeah, they then, you know, go speak with Bill's mother. Alright, I'll let you guys take the scene on this.
The scene with, well, do you want to say anything, Fig?
Oh, about meeting Mama Crazy? Yeah.
Since you're our guest and all.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, in the attempts of getting ahead of the curve, they figure out that he wants to go home, so they go to his quote unquote home, which is, you know, obviously going to be registered at Mommy's house. So they arrive, and luckily Pendergast is a charismatic person with the older crazy types, so he knew just how to work Mama over, and his partner, you know, just kind of hopefully took a couple notes. So they walk up. She opens the screen door and threatens to sick the dog on them. And they do their spiel where officers we'll just talk about your son. Can we come in? And she invites them in. And first thing the lady cop asks is, oh, where's the dog?
It's dead.
It's dead. I was, you know, it's been a while since I've seen this movie, so when she said it's, you know, where's the dog? I'm like, oh man, I hope that's a lie. It's dead. I'm like, oh. So we talked to the mom to kind of get the idea of what Mr. Bill's like, and we, you know, figure out that he works at a place. So they call the place. He hasn't worked here in a month. What has he been doing in that time?
Where has he been going every day? Where has he been eating his lunch?
And that's where we kind of leave the scene on that hanging note of what has Bill Defense been doing this last month.
And they never fucking explain it. They never do.
I actually kind of like that. You know, it leaves the audience something to think. Not necessarily like a plot hole, but, you know, just a little something.
It kind of just shows how mad he is. Just for a month, he's been pretending to go to work every day.
Yeah, and I think it's, you know, I actually kind of find this scene sad, you know, a little bit, because his mom obviously cares for him, you know. She's afraid of him, but she still cares for him, and there's even the scene where it's like, yeah, you know, whenever he eats, he's always like a robot, and I have to, you know, spit out my food just to get attention from him, and he'll look at me angrily, and I'm just like, oof, you know. It really shows that we're now at that point of, like, no return. I feel like that's the scene where Bill solidifies, you know, he's not going back.
No.
Because from this point, he just becomes a absolute maniac. And I think this is where this is the golf course scene?
I think so, because we leave the construction, go through the golf course, and then he hops into the home.
I think he calls her first and has the whole point of no return. And
Yeah, you might be right about that.
Yeah, before he went with all of the you know, going into the random golf course, he first calls Elizabeth, gives her some villainous dialogue, and then we go over to the fucking golf course, and then we go over to the random ass fucking rich person house, and then
I think they specifically said he was like a plastic surgeon.
Yeah. That actually, I want to speak about. I want to talk more about the scene at the home before we continue. I like the double meanings with things, like the fact that, you know, he's a vet, which, you know, is one partially why he's so capable of, you know, not fucking dying, and at the same time, you know, he's got a Purple Heart. Maybe that explains why he's crazy and does some of the things and acts some of the ways he does when, you know, they show it later in the film. And the fact that he works for a missile defense company, which, one, makes him extraordinarily smart, but he works for he makes ICBMs. It's kind of, I don't know, it shows that he's both smart, intelligent, smart, dangerous, and kind of wounded.
Yeah, it shows to me like he's unexpecting, I guess I should say.
he's unassuming.
Like, most people would see a guy like Bill and be like, oh yeah, he's some random IT guy from, like, Silicon Valley or whatever. But in reality, this dude made missiles.
He made missiles and he fought in the war.
Yeah.
Lord. Alright, so then there's the scene with the golf course. I think another thing the movie does really well is it shows the wealth disparity in Los Angeles, you know. You've got the beginning half, which is set in, like, fucking
The movie said gangster land.
Well, yeah, piece of shit, gangster land full of Mexicans and quote-unquote undesirables, people who are not economically viable, because before he goes to the park, I just remembered there was the guy protesting about how, you know, he was found uneconomically viable, basically because he's black.
Damn.
And, you know, then scene afterwards, a gigantic golf course with people who probably make more than any of us will in a single day, or in our lives, and they do in a single day. And, you know, they're fucking assholes to him, like everyone is, and he's like, you know, what the fuck are you doing with this? You set aside acres for your little ball game when there should be people playing here. There should be children, picnics, and all this and that.
Which, by the way, I just want to bring up, I want to give a shout out to the old man that was trying to, you know, convince the other dude, hey, this guy looks a little dangerous, we should probably not...
Yup.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like, the
Props to
second...
him.
He's like the second, maybe... No, he is like the most level-headed person in the entire fucking movie.
yeah.
He's like, just let him pass through. He's not hurting you. And he's like, fuck you! This is my golf course! Mine! And he
I paid money to be here!
And then he tries to hit Bill with a fucking golf club.
Well, golf.
Or golf ball, sorry. And he screams 4, fucking yeets it at him, and then, you know, he pulls out a shotgun and it says 5. I kind of lost it at that point a little bit.
Yeah, Bill's like, oh, you wanna fuck around? Okay. Gave the man a heart attack. Didn't even shoot him.
Yeah,
Just
he
gave him a heart attack.
Yeah, he just went for that shit.
Fucking Chad Thundercock moment over there. And then
Yo,
he breaks.
what GTA star did he get from that?
Keep
That
in
got
mind.
you to 2-star because that old man dies, and you know that gets you up there because then he has to flee. The helicopters swarm in on him.
Keep in mind, he's a rich old white man. They didn't care when it was in gangland. They cared when it was a rich white guy that died.
Oh, you know that's
Yeah.
instant 2-star, instant.
Instant 2-star.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they're like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's when the police really start being a problem for him. So he breaks into somebody's, a plastic surgeon's house. You know, there's some groundkeepers there. Or at least a groundkeeper and his family. And he jumps the fence. He's like, Jesus Christ, why the fuck is there barbed wire here? It's like, do you want to bring that up with the security firm? You're with the security, right? He's like, no, I'm not. I don't live here. I just want to go home. And then, you know, he kind of takes them quasi-hostage while the police are looking around for him. And he kind of just talks about his family for a little bit, why he's there. You know, you can tell that when he's holding that the hand of the groundkeeper's kid, you know, in a shed, basically, he fucking thinks it's his kid. And he's just in La La Land for a little bit as he's talking about his life. And then right when he gets snapped out of it, he's like, oh my fucking god, I may or may not have hurt this little kid, because he cut his hand on some barbed wire and he saw blood on her. So he thought maybe I did that. And he feels really, really bad. And he lets her go, puts the gun down. And the dad steps up and he's like, you know what, take me with you. I don't want you hurt, or if you're gonna hold us hostage, take me hostage and let him go. And he's like, what do you take me for? I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt your family. And then he just leaves.
Yeah. It's the weird way of how I'm not the bad guy. I've been done dirty by the system. Things have just been horrible. And it's just been
It's a really, really good example of someone doing things wrong, you know, a villain, sort of say, you know, to put it fucking bluntly, in their own mind is the good guy.
Yeah.
And they even bring that back up, you know. Till the end, he thought he was doing good.
Yeah.
I mean, you could technically say, despite the things that he did wrong, you know, his last moments, he at least did something good, if you could call it good.
He didn't outright attempt to murder his ex-wife and kid. At least he didn't get to that point into doing that.
We'll get to that together. We'll get it.
Yeah, that's like at the very fucking end.
Yeah.
Now, Fucking. What was after that whole part?
So rich people.
Yeah, after.
I think he went to Venice Beach and he called her.
Yeah,
And
that was the
police
part.
were right on his
Oh,
tail.
before this happened, though, cop guy finally was like, okay, we know where his ex-wife lives. Let's head there. And then it cuts to Bill calling
So
his
yeah,
wife.
Yeah.
So
And-
immediately she just bolts out. She just says, "Let's go. Goodbye."
Let's fucking get
Gotta
the hell
go.
out.
and then that scene right there, okay, not gonna lie, I thought it was like one of those Scooby-Doo fucking skits where they're walking in and out of doors, because the second he goes in, his
Yeah.
family goes, well, yeah, I guess his ex-daughter, fuck me, his ex-wife and his daughter leave out the side, and in a scene that really got to me, he looks around, he tries to find them, and what he does is he watches old films of himself and his family.
Yeah. Which,
God,
yeah, that actually kind of got me a little bit. The guy is fucking broken. The guy just wanted his wife back. He didn't want to really, do all this horrible shit. But he's reached that breaking point, is unfortunately. The most he can do is just reminisce about what he used to have. Can't really get it back.
that whole sequence, it gets you emotional. That he gives his daughter a puppy, and it's like a sweet moment. And he pets the dog because they still have the dog.
Yeah.
It's there. But then, as it continues, it shows a scene of why it happened, of what drove them apart, and his mom said that he blamed her, but the film, shows it was him. There was always something wrong with him. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just him getting mad at his wife because he didn't want to she didn't want to put their daughter on like this horsey ride, and he's just getting all worked up about it.
Yeah.
In this scene, it seemed like he cared more about having this perfect moment about like, oh, we're at the pier. I'm at the pier with my family. It seemed like he cared more about that perfect scene in his head than, reality. Like, no, his daughter does not want to get on the horse. She's crying. It's like a baby, too. His wife is telling him, no, I don't want to put her on the horse. She doesn't like it. And he just starts getting fucking pissed,
Yeah. Man, we've all fucking said it, but I'll say it again. That entire sequence was fucking emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was quite neat.
And at
Yeah.
this point, we're at like the end stretch where, once the cops arrive, he shoots the protag cop's assistant. Like he shoots her,
partner.
escapes through the back. Yeah, partner.
His old partner.
And he's heading towards the pier because I guess that's just where he knows his wife is, which I found that scene a little like how do you know that they're there? But
I think
Honey,
it
I
was
love
Rose
the pier.
assumption.
Pier, it's your favorite. It's your favorite, honey. You love the pier.
Yeah.
I thought it made sense in later on, because it's like, oh, she doesn't know what's going on, so bring her somewhere where she thinks she'll be happy. It's close. She's just being fast. She wants to leave. And at the same time, it's somewhere public with a lot of people, and that's somewhere where you want to be when something like that is happening, where everybody can see what's happening.
Exactly.
yeah, that's true. Which once I thought about it, yeah, I gave him that. But my first, initial like, oh, you're going to the pier, I guess, plot. But that final scene at the pier, do any of you want to take this one, or
I'm not really sure what I could say at the moment.
Oh,
Alright.
is that leaving it open? All right, so check it out. Our protagonist, if you want to call him that, Bill. He pieces two. He starts running off after he's gone down Lady Cop, and he's going to the pier to get his family, his sweet family time, because he's done. So they run, and props to what's his name, Michael Douglas. Damn, could you imagine having to jog up that damn pier? All right, you need to go from here to here. Don't stop. Go.
Which I found a little funny. They didn't really need to have him just run. They could have just jump
It was
cut.
such a long, just sustained, just
It was
follow it,
unnecessary.
tracking shot. I'm like, look at him go, commit, go for it.
I mean,
So he gets there, and here we are. We're at our quote unquote conclusion. Bill has found got to his family, and he starts talking, and he pretty much does his thing to scare everybody off. He draws the gun, everybody leaves, and he's reunited, and it's not a great moment.
no. Like, I found it a little funny how the daughter was like, "Hey, look, it's Dad." Like,
Daddy.
yeah, she was completely oblivious to how bad things really fucking were.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you just saw the mom's terrified face, and she's like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
I even like that they kind of made her out to be a little bit of an asshole for a minute too. Just
For a
at
little
the
bit.
at the rise, it's just like, well, you
Yeah.
thought he was gonna do something violent, and
I'll give him this. She's justified in the fact that Bill has been shown to be, a little, and by a little I mean a lot, off his rocker.
yup.
But I see where you're coming from.
And it's just
She's
like
definitely
it's this,
nowhere near the level of everyone else, though.
Yeah.
No.
this like example of how do you approach this situation? How can you be her and go through and kind of handle this? It's a lovely light on a shitty situation. But so the best part, the other next Chad moment is where we find our Officer Pendergast chilling, eating popcorn.
That's a Chad Thundercock moment right there.
He comes in just swagger. It's like, oh yeah, people say don't eat the fish, and I used to, does the whole, seasoned cop spiel. Just,
Yeah. He's just making
So,
sure that he doesn't escalate the situation and whatnot.
following his protocols. He's like, I'm gonna play this by the book. I'm gonna roll up, be like, hey, Bill, how you doing? Just
God, that
just an
whole
average
scene,
guy here.
that whole scene is brilliant because he does things that are both, to the audience at least, subtle and yet obvious. He flashes his gun to the ex-wife to show that he is an officer. He has a gun. He prods around and sees how close he can get to Bill to see what he has and how comfortable he is in that situation. He also signals, when I do this, try to disarm him and so forth. And it's, once again, brilliant.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it works.
Yep, and then we do the ultimate play. We hand our young daughter the popcorn, which is, I like the idea of like, dude, he did this intentionally. He knew exactly what was going to happen if he handed that little girl that popcorn.
Hell
Yeah. he also used that, this is how close I can get to him. And he saw that he had a gun.
Yep, he assessed the situation and put his play into motion.
Yeah.
I'm sure Robert Duvall is a football man. I'm sure that was, fun for him.
Lord. And then the draw. So he lowers the gun to pick up, eat some popcorn from his little kid because he gave the kid some popcorn and so on and so forth. He eats some popcorn. Cop protagonist, ex-wife lock eyes for a second. They know exactly what they're gonna do. Fucking, she grabs the gun and bolts backwards. He grabs his, and Bill is kind of fucked. He goes backwards and says, "Alright, I got a gun in my pocket. There are two ways for this to end. I kill you, you kill me. Let's draw at the count of three."
And
And so-
he didn't want to do that.
Well, I mean, cop protagonist, he didn't want him to die. He wanted to resolve the situation peacefully if he could, but of course he couldn't. But,
It's that, like, we as the audience know, since he's just right there at retirement, he's gonna, and everybody's talking all day about him dying. All day. You're gonna die before you retire, buddy. You've got how many hours left? You're gonna die.
yeah.
And so he's just
And-
like, I'm gonna shoot.
Yeah, it just really highlights how what's his name? It's like Poltergeist, bruh.
Pendergeist. It's not, but
Pan-
Pendergeist. Something like that.
Pandering.
Pintergeist is just the foil to Bill, Bill has a loving wife and a kid. Pintergeist has a wife, but he lost the kid,
And his wife is kind of insane.
Yeah.
Calls him, "Oh my god, I thought you were gonna die." Or how he's retiring because one day his wife got it in her head that he was dead, and basically thought that he was a ghost when he came back from work, and he had to chase him around home. Or he had to.
Yeah, so it's just like, the foil to each other, and it works really well.
Definitely.
Fuck yeah.
And
And-
then the end scene.
Yeah, and going back to that whole, you're gonna fucking die. Bill does shoot cop protag. Polter. What are we calling him? Polter cop. And he does shoot Polter cop, but with a water gun, not a real gun. And so,
Switcheroo.
even as he's, struck directly in the chest and stumbling backwards, he says, "I would have got you." And then, as his body is, swishing around in the waves, I would say it's the conclusion, but the movie goes on a little bit more.
Yeah.
Earlier in the movie, the big macho chief of police says, "I fucking hate you, and I've never liked you. You never curse, and I always distrust men who never curse."
Yeah.
And so, what does he do when he's given the spotlight for a second from the newscast? "Oh, it was all Polter Cop's doing." He goes up to the TV caster and he's like, "Fuck you, and fuck you, the police chief."
And
Yeah,
he
he
said,
was
"Thank
just
you very
like,
much."
"Fuck you, Captain. Fuck you very much."
Yeah.
Yeah. God, I need more to drink. But from there, he just, talks with the little girl. It's kind of like a fucking, kind of like what Bill did. For a second, he just pretends that he's or she's his little girl, and it's a sweet scene.
Yeah, it's a little sweet conclusion.
Kind of got a kick out of him saying his name is Mud. Thought of the song.
Hell yeah.
And basically, it ends there. And it is one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's really
like-
up there.
You like
Okay.
that movie? You like how good and well thought out it is? Well, let me tell you something. Like I mentioned earlier,
Oh
there's
Lord.
another similar movie that takes all of these ideas and just screws them up horribly.
Oh God, they butcher it.
Yeah, so for some context, me and my mom, we hung out one day and like my mom was like, "Hey, your aunt recommended us a movie." So I'm like, "Sure, yeah, I'll watch it." That movie was the worst like 90 minutes of my life.
Oh
Oh my
my.
I
God.
think it was more than 90 minutes, but just
What was
worst thing I've ever watched. It's called Unhinged, and it came out this year. And it is pretty much what happens when you take Falling Down and you just strip all of the nuance and all of the, internals of it and just make it a zombie. Alright?
Oh, it's a horror movie.
It's not a horror movie, it's a suspense movie. So pretty much the whole deal with this movie is you've got like a middle-aged white dude and he's just mad. That's his whole personality. He's mad. He kills his wife for some ungodly reason. He's mad, he drives around and he starts harassing a woman, like just one specific woman and her family because, yeah, you honked at me during traffic. Like, you know how Bill is fed up because he has, mental issues and then just like society, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
this guy just says, screw all that. I'm mad because it's me. And, nobody's courteous these days. Like, I'm telling you.
Okay, so I looked this movie up. It's got Russell Crowe as our bad boy, and that seems interesting. As I've seen the trailers and stuff for this.
Wait, what's the movie called?
Unhinged.
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 God, this movie's
Okay.
It's got this
awful.
chunky Russell Crowe with the neck hair and everything. It's probably
Yeah.
pretty comfy.
Redditor.
Okay, I'm looking at. Okay, just to compare these two characters, just on a visual level, I'd say Bill is much more the everyman. You can, I guess, I wouldn't say identify with him more, but he's more of just. He's generic in kind of a good way, if you get what I mean.
He's unassuming.
Yeah, he's just a
Yeah,
dude.
he's unassuming. He's just a regular dude. Russell Crowe doesn't just look like a normal dude.
He looks like he'll choke out your puppy.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work. Especially considering, just like all of the things that happen in the movie and how, and how things just went. Oh, the baby is in here. South
Okay.
with the movie.
So
Yeah.
how about the John Travolta film?
Oh no.
Okay.
So
That
right.
fucking movie. Look, Fig.
You know exactly what I'm
As
talking about.
much as I would love, and I do mean love to talk about that movie, I am so fucking sorry that is getting its own individual video. There's just
Excellent.
it's
Happy to
just
hear.
too beautiful. It's okay. We've got three things right here, right? Falling Down. Mwah. Beautifully done. It's intelligent. It's
The sort of thing you want from big people like the Warner Brothers.
Exactly. Very, very well done. Then you've got what Magix is purporting Unhinged is. It's just the middle. The middle is just mediocrity. It's just boring, doesn't really fit, kind of janky, rough around the edges, cash grab. And then you've got that movie. Not gonna name it because our fucking one viewer out there who's autistic enough to watch us.
Shout out to Fred Durst.
Shout out to Fred Durst. That movie is just the complete and utter opposite of what Falling Down was. It is stupid, poorly done, fucking failed at every single point, especially box office. It's got John Travolta in it.
Hell yeah, John
They
Travolta.
fucked up when they put John Travolta in it. John Scientology fucking Travolta is like, he's in Gotti. He's in that fucking movie. The only thing I attribute to John Travolta is just dog shit. He's like Bruce Willis. Except, at least Bruce Willis had a promising career at one point.
Dude, Bruce Willis was in Fifth Element.
Yeah, he was. And those were some fucking kick-ass movies, too. But look at him now. Alright? Bruce Willis is in fucking, Marauders? Who the fuck remembers the movie Marauders?
Yo, y'all remember the Funny Man and Gotti, who with the Funny Man soundtrack, with the Funny Man cursing? Haha, it's
Oh,
Pitbull.
Oh, that's right. That's his
Oh, right.
fucking-
Mr. Worldwide.
I
Yeah,
actually
Mr.
forgot his name.
Okay. The soundtrack in Falling Down, right? It just blends into it. It's perfect. It's not overbearing. It's as I say, it just blends into it well. It just feels like part of the scene. Fucking Pitbull soundtrack. Wake up, motherfucker!
Yo, I want the Toto Africa Pitbull version in Gotti now.
Imagine if Pitbull did the soundtrack for Falling Down.
That'd be great. And by great, I mean great with 15 quotation marks.
7 asterisks.
Fuck society. I'm not gonna fucking do that.
I'm going insane. Honestly, oh god.
Fucking put Mr. Worldwide in a blender. Put some of Joel's fucking Ghostbusters soundtrack, and that's what you get.
If Pitbull did the soundtrack, like if Pitbull were associated with Falling Down in any way, it would just be Bill walking out of the military, you know, his military job, where he makes missiles and it just explodes behind him as he pulls out shades from his pencil pocket.
And starts mowing people down.
Yeah, he just
know-
gets in his Lamborghini and starts mowing people down.
You know, honestly, I'm really happy that they didn't do anything like that in this movie. They kept it pretty well in reality. Like,
Yeah.
the random moments of where you could question, would that really happen? Like, those aren't impossible, but it's certainly out there with the possibility of it happening, you know?
Yeah, and with those moments, you know, the movie goes pretty fast. It's compact.
Yeah.
Even if you were to, like, stop and think about it, you know, you'd already be like, oh, the next part of the movie's happening.
It just sinks in after a while. You know?
Yeah.
You watch it, and you think.
Hell
Just-
yeah.
Whereas Unhinged is complete mediocrity, like not even entertaining bad.
Oh, no.
Falling Down is definitely a step above it, and
Sure.
yeah, I can recommend this movie. You know,
Yeah. Thoroughly.
Hell yeah.
Also, I'd just like to point out that when I googled Unhinged, I found that one woman who made a little thing of Donald Trump's decapitated head and then posted it on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Very cash money.
And cool.
Billy, do you mind saying the no-no word so YouTube doesn't place ads on this?
Don't worry, I'll just replicate what that one Nazi synthesizer, I don't care, sympathizer said.
Yeah, synthesizer.
What if you even just
Synthesizer.
use that clip and you just like put it in where he just says it a bunch?
I'm too lazy, I'll say it. So, mowing down niggers is one hell of a pastime. I usually don't participate in it, but whenever I see a faggot, I get out my fucking hand cannon and I just start popping some fucking caps, you know? That hurt to say, by the way. I didn't like saying that.
Alright, fuck you, YouTube. Susan Wojcicki, you can inhale my necrotic genitalia.
Epic.
epic and cool. Any like final words before we finish off?
Watch Demolition Man.
Don't watch Unhinged. Save your money.
We watched fucking Titanic 2. Come on.
Which
At
was
least
Watch
Titanic
Wild
2
Wild
was
West.
free.
Get some sweet Will Smith undersack.
we need
Yo,
to create.
It's rewind time.
We need to create a list of movies that we've watched, and we need to rank them. The movies that we watched as of more recent. Let's see: Sleepless, Motherfuckers, Wish Upon, Motherfuckers, Titanic 2, Falling Down. I think that's it. I'm pretty sure.
You want like a 5 out of 5, like a 10 out of 10? Which
Scores numeronic? What would be
Numeric.
the term? Numeric scores are gay.
Sick.
cool.
I put them
this gets 5 50-cent Cokes out of whatever.
I usually put it just on a personal.
Yeah.
I put it on just a personal level of how much I enjoyed it versus the quality of it, the value it brings, and some other bullshit.
On a
Fucking
scale
hell.
of bread to toast, this is firmly golden toast.
I like this movie more than I liked Pulp Fiction.
On a scale of ignore or watch at gunpoint, I think this definitely lands right there.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Before we do go, what is the next movie we're gonna do?
Fuck if I know.
Let's see.
You know what? Do you want to watch that John Travolta movie where he's playing a retard?
What's the movie? Gotti?
we
Or
have a-
something else?
I don't want to say it by name. It's like a curse. Fucking what was it?
A movie that shall not be named. How about that?
He's an autist in Hollywood, and he wears a vest backwards on a moped.
What?
I don't know what it is, but the movie that
okay.
shall not be named. I don't know. We have a lot of movies to go through. We got it's either this or Top Gear.
Well, what?
Top Gear-
Huh?
Here's a show.
Well, it's on the movie watch list.
What?
Fucking welcome to Bottom Gear.
God, I can't
I'm
wait
glad
till
you
we
said it
watch
and I didn't.
Blackula. I swear, I need to see this movie.
John Travolta was in Pulp Fiction. He was Vince Vega.
I don't know
Yeah,
how I feel about that.
That's John Travolta?
that's John
You're
Travolta.
fucking kidding me. Okay. He was in Grease, Pulp Fiction, Get Shorty.
Oh yeah, he was in Greece. He
Yes,
was that
that is John
one
Travolta.
dude.
He was Danny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This guy's like fucking Bruce Willis, alright? I think Samuel L. Jackson's the one person who came out of Pulp Fiction without eating shit.
Damn.
Essentially.
That's because I like Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah. But anyways, I think that's the end of the podcast. Whatever the hell we watch, if like our 2 viewers will see it when we get there. And
Hell
I
yeah.
don't know. Hopefully someday we'll watch Blackula. I want to see how awful this movie is. I really do.
Oh, please.
What
Yeah.
about gay
Especially
niggas from outer
considering
space?
it's free.
How about gay niggas from outer space?
Y'all should try out Double Lot if you haven't seen that already. For
Double
your
Lot.
height only. He's a little man. And he plays a secret agent.
Oh.
Spicy.
Okay.
Double Lot. Look for it on the YouTube.
On the
I can't wait to pirate it. Wait, are we still streaming?
Yeah, we
I
are.
was-
That's why I was trying to
So-
be like,
Oh.
hey.
Do
So,
a little
Oh,
sign off.
Totally don't pirate.
So, yeah, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, favorite, share on MySpace. subscribe to our Patreon so that we can give a carrot some estrogen pills. And
Fuck yeah.
I'd also like to give a special thanks to the random furry that Cheeseburger invited. Thank you for providing some extra dialogue words for our viewers today.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was
That's what I was hoping to do. All right.
I give that an okay racist hand symbol out of 10.
What? You're a white supremacist?
Apparently, if I say the word poggers, I'm done.